So, situational report in the region. So, Persian Gulf, Middle East, U.S. Israeli actions vis a vis the regime remnants, proxies from yesterday, 5 p.m. to today. U.S. actions in the Strait of Hormuz, June 13th. So U.S. Central Command intercepted and downed multiple regime remnant one-way attack drones launched towards commercial shipping in the Strait. All drones were neutralized. Maritime traffic continued without major disruption. President Trump warned they better get their act together fast. So, they're quietly guiding, we're continuing to quietly guide commercial vessels through the Strait. Israeli actions Sunday, today, June 14th, strike on Beirut, IDF authorized by Benjamin Netanyahu, go get him, Bibi, and Defense Minister Israel Katz. I probably mispronounced that, forgive me. They conducted airstrikes on Hezbollah command centers and infrastructure in Dahia and southern suburbs of Beirut. And it was framed as retaliation for recent Hezbollah rocket and drone projectile fire into northern Israel. Lebanese Ministry of Health claimed that 3 were killed, 16 were wounded. Ongoing operations in southern Lebanon reported striking 70 plus Hezbollah targets. Go get them. In the recent 24-hour period, Israel maintains it is not a party to U.S. regime remnants MOU, but appreciates U.S. efforts while assisting the right to respond to direct threats, which I very much appreciate and agree with, even though, it's quite often that allies have different things about things. They come to different conclusions of how to get to skin the cat. Forgive me, cat. More regime remnants actions. So, regime hardliners, IRGC, asymmetric maritime pressure, launching drones at commercial ships, threatening military response to the Israeli Beirut strike. IRGC and I don't want to call them negotiators, just say they're the organizational version of their facial anus that masquerades as a mouth. Push back on the Sunday signing timeline, calling Trump's insistent unusual. And they're saying the MOU is not finalized yet, which is why Nari very rightly is, has a lack of confidence anything would get signed, which is good, unless it's a surrender deal and they get the fuck out. They framed it as a test for, that's what the regime's, this is the practice test. Why can't we just fucking kill the rest of these dipshits? I think it's so annoying. All right, so the remnants are continuing to use proxies and direct asymmetric tools, drones, threatening to shipping as arming everybody else is kind of very well aware. Hezbollah's actions. They're firing rockets, drones, projectiles toward northern Israel. I hope all of our Israeli allies are safe. The recent salvos, including overnight and early Sunday activity, prompted the Beirut response. Some attacks target Israeli forces or drones in southern Lebanon. They're essentially going through continuing low-level operations and rejection of ceasefire networks. So I don't think they're going to see shit. So they're acting as a primary proxy for the Mole regime. Commercial shipping and aircraft. Shout out to Katz. Thank you again for keeping everybody up to breast on all your fine work and keep on tracking all of that. So commercial shipping out of Strait of Hormuz severely disrupted. 5 to 10 ships versus 160 ships. Vessels loiter. They take dark routes. Transponders off. They hug. Well, pro-Durka try to hug Iranian waters. Pro-freedom tries to hug the other side. Broader context is they have used, the regime remnants are using closure threats, toll booths, and all this other stuff to try and, exert economic leverage. Commercial aircraft, ongoing caution and selective disruptions. It's not acute new mass cancellations in the past 24 hours. That said, specifically, European, North American, and regional carriers are continuing avoiding those areas and limiting flights to Israel, Tel Aviv, Lebanon, obviously, and parts of the Gulf due to the conflict. Key statements by Trump and Bibi. So President Trump very much is like, strongly urging that both sides hold restraint. We are very close to a deal that will bring peace in the region. Tragically, Durkas are going to Durka, and I'm pretty sure they're not hearing it unless it's punctuated with a brilliant guided munition exclamation point. criticized the Beirut strike as disproportional through very small and meaningless Hezbollah attack. One of the times where me and the administration we disagree. Even though I love Donald. Bibi, joint statement with Katz, ordered the Dia strike in direct response to Hezbollah firing into Israeli territory. Israel will not tolerate firing into its territory, nor should it. He acknowledged that Israel is not a formal party of the U.S. Regime remnant MOU, but very much values Trump's commitment. This is very atypical of allies. This happened during the Second World War. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu very much thanked the United States' focus on addressing Israel's core security concerns, nuclear missiles, proxies, as they're traditionally defined, right? So, regime remnants, right? The Durkas. For a minister, I fucking hate I can't ever pronounce their name anyway. Ishmegel Bagelhead signing will not be tomorrow, Sunday, but possible in the coming days. Basically, they're just short stroking shit to try and delay as long as they can. IRGC denied imminent Sunday signing, criticized the rush timeline. Lead negotiator Galabaf condemned Israeli Beirut strikes. Basically the the common life of these douchebags. So what's the bottom line? Last 21 hours shows classic brinksmanship. It's kind of like U.S. is very much pushing hard for certain agreements. Israel's asserts independently securing their red lines against Hezbollah. Regime remnants are using asymmetric tools, drones on shipping, and Hezbollah attacks to maintain pressure and try to extract concessions. And the Beirut strike injected or punctuated some of the friction that would be felt from anybody who thinks that there can be a sustainable and or legitimate diplomatic off-ramp to this. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. I wanted to thank, again, Kat for all that she does with regards to giving us the open intelligence assessment on commercial and aircraft. If you want, you can, I'm all about questions if you're asking why we're pursuing what we're doing, or, I can answer those questions. Just give you just a basic overview. Sorry, this weather's giving me a bit of a headache.
Okay, let's go to responses. I have one from Yuval.
Yes, I'll just comment. There's one concerning aspect, concerning phenomenon here, and that is the lack. We don't hear anything about Israeli effectively using anti-drone, anti-missile laser systems that it's supposed to have had by now. We've been told by June, don't worry guys, by June, the laser defense system is going to be operational. There's going to be a game changer. And I don't see any evidence for that. So if anyone here can shed light on what's happening with that, I'd be very grateful, because it's very concerning that we don't see it changing the game the way it should have, the way it's supposed to have done.
Jeffrey, I think, Jeffrey's making gestures like he wants to answer.
So my background is in high energy lasers, and I'm one of the guys who actually helped push for that policy 4 years ago with members throughout the broader Zionist diaspora and or retired flag officers, including those tied to General Bibi. They are pushing for it. A lot of them have been fielded. It's not that they're not capable. Some of the issue is supply, at least from the best of what I can see at this point, is here's some of the key delays. These are the things for delays. They're having a hard time with integration doctrine, how to best deploy them, because you're dealing with constrained supply chains vis-a-vis a lot of this stuff coming from either China or Chinese communist and or controlled areas. So rare earth elements, all this other stuff you need. Training and command. So air defense units need new procedures and operators and rules of engagement. They're involved in training them on how to use it. Just when you have, even so, You have technological readiness levels, which means this is something that works, which it does. You have manufacturing readiness levels. Can we produce this at scale? And then when you have all that, you have to like, okay, now we got to give it to guys to use it in theaters so they understand how to best use it. New weapons, even if it's amazing, you still have to train people on how to use it and how to best use it in different any number of circumstances, which the variances of, as you know, being an IDF soldier are fucking endless. Production scaling. So again, that's one of the issues. That's the biggest issue. So the IDF very much overcame all the major technological milestones. The issue is the production scaling. That's the main issue I see. We're working on that, trying to fix that. Ideally, so Iron Beam is very much a continuous wave laser whose kill methodology is something called a thermal structural kill, meaning you're lasing a target to you burn through things and then ignite stuff inside or cause it to structurally fail. What does that mean? It means that you have your OODA loop decision cycle or kill chains a little more protracted when measured against, say, ultra short pulse lasers, which are measured in picoseconds. So there's probably something else that we're working on, not the least of which is to overcome the volume of short range rockets that Hezbollah has and is using in mass to overwhelm defenses. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people, and me being one of them, you heard me take it, say it in the show, to push for what is ultra short pulse lasers with on-site AI acting in the OODA loop decision cycle and or kill chain version of the decision support role via neuromorphic edge computing. Try saying that 3 times fast. What it means is that it can shoot down a lot more targets in a given amount of time, which means that you have this window of interdiction. I'm sure you know this, Yuval, right? Being an IDF soldier, if somebody launches a rocket, you have your maximum range of engagement versus minimum safe distance. It's trap. That's the range that you can engage. That's your, and then you have the speed that it's traveling, which gives you this amount of time to engage this many targets coming through this area before it's on top of you. So that's one of the reasons why I keep pushing for the more advanced version. Continuous wave was more developed, and it's designed to sit there and offset the Hezbollah and Hamas and the regime remnants from leveraging low-cost drones to bleed you out of high-end interceptors via the cost and or production exchange ratio. Again, the main issue is production, ramping up production. And that's not because the technology is not there to do it. It's more like the raw inputs that you need to have to get it done. Does that help answer some questions?
Right. Okay. Let's go on to Sketch for responses.
Yes, I'd like to point out that more tankers are moving through. That's very important. All right, we have like 142. Last week they moved 36 more out. If I have this correct, between the 1st and the 7th. This was them going dark, and that's just the oil tankers. That's not all the ships, because there's also LNG, liquid natural gas tankers. They might not be an environmental concern, but they do go boom very loud and very hard, and you don't want those people to die. So they're being the most danger. Like if you hit a cargo ship, you might get the crew. It's still dangerous, but not as dangerous as getting hit on an LNG ship. All right. So that's over 160 mainstream tankers were still marooned on June 9th, and the new there it is believed, just by going off what the market's showing, because they're all going dark, about 25 more tankers have been pulled out, and 76 may still be marooned. So as we're talking, things are happening, and once all those tankers are out, it's a different strategic picture, especially when we're looking at our Persian Gulf allies and their ability to desalinate. 76 tankers is still a lot. If they were to be blown up, that still would, with saturation attacks, that would still be unsurmountable for any natural ability of the Persian Gulf to get rid of this oil, and it would destroy desalination plants. So you should understand that time is needed for many reasons, not just cause internal fighting with the IRGC. That is a good and important thing, and we're looking at it. But you should understand that this is a multi-layered plans, and there's many different reasons why things happen.
All right. I think that's it for this topic. So let's go to super chats.
All right, we have 3 super chats. First is Fleshy Interloper saying, "Dipshit removal strongly supported." Dipshit removal strongly supported. If it does, that's great. And then we have Jew Hater with a super chat saying, "Big nose Pahlavi." Well, Jew Hater, I think it's better to have a leader with a big nose than one leader stuck in a fridge, one dead leader stuck in a fridge, and another gay Ayatollah as a leader missing an arm and a leg. And then we got another super chat from Fleshy Interloper with a question saying, "Is laser better? Oh, is laser better or multiple warheads? Oh, is laser better multiple warheads?" I don't understand this question. Jeffrey, do you want to respond to this?
Yeah, so like if you're dealing with things like cluster munitions, it seems like they're asking about the threat posed from cluster munitions or multiple independently targeted reentry vehicles and warheads versus like a singular warhead. Very much so because of the lower cost per kill, particularly again if it's operating in the ultra short pulse mode. With on-site AI doing the things that I talked about regarding neuromorphic edge computing, because that means you can take out a lot of targets very quickly in the time and distance that defines the window of interdiction. Even continuous wave lasers, I mean, you have to have a lot more because you're talking about, having to have a continuous wave laser dwell on a target for like, a minute or two, or not a minute, like a couple of seconds, like between 2 and 7-ish. That's the average. Whereas an ultra short pulse laser, it's picoseconds. It's kind of like a laser machine gun. If you do things like Q switching and all this other stuff, you can shoot every friggin' cluster munition out of the sky for a nickel. Again, the issue is, it's not that the technology is not there, it is. It's not that we don't know how to build them, we do. It's all of the raw inputs that you use to build them, right? When you're thinking about things like having AI doing neuromorphic edge computing, well, that's great. Where do you get your chips from? There's a reason that we're working on cleaning out our supply chain, man. That's a really good question, though.
Yeah, and okay, and Sketch wants to respond to this super fast before we go to the other super chat. So Sketch, go ahead, really fast. I'm not hearing Sketch. Are you guys hearing Sketch? It's not.
I really quick on this. The ship that we are going to use for this is a ship that was discarded. It was felt as overpowered, too much energy in it. It was a stealth ship, and now it's being. Wait a minute. The only ship that has enough power for this energy weapon is this ship that we had almost discarded as some kind of stealth ship, and it just goes to show that good ideas, merit, and time come together for a great purpose.
Okay, let's go to the other super chats. We have 3 more. Push-ups, thank you so much for the super chat saying, wait, Mushtaba can't get a leg up on live? Wait, Mushtaba can't get a leg up on live. Oh, okay, okay. Wait, okay. Thank you, push-ups. Sorry, I'm slow today. And Steak and Beans with another super chat. I mean, every day when it comes to your drugs. Steak and Beans with another super chat saying, spread the love, Am Israel Chai, Payande Iran. Yes, Am Israel Chai, Payande Iran. Love that. Thank you, Steak and Beans. And then we have BT bringing us to 10. We got confettis because of BT. So thank you. Saying, big nose is greater than small dick energy. Small dick energy, exactly. And I don't know if people know, but Mujtaba had to go to the UK to get some treatment done because he couldn't have he couldn't, I don't know, impregnate his wife or something. I don't know. Oh, we got another super chat by Michanuka. Thank you so much for the super chat, saying Pahlavi wants to be allies with Israel. Probably really digs at. Oh yeah, the fact that Pahlavi wants to be allies with Israel probably really digs at the Jew hater. Exactly. I mean, they already even before this was known, it tells you a lot that the people who hate Israel also hate Pahlavi, which shows that Pahlavi is on the right side of history, right? It's a good thing. We actually love the fact that Jew haters hate Pahlavi. I mean, guys, imagine if Jew haters loved Pahlavi, that would be fucking horrible, right? Like this is like every time Jew haters hate on Pahlavi, we're like, good, that's great, because like if we don't want you, like that we would be concerned if you actually supported him.
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.